Bristol Myers, makers of Ipana toothpaste and sparkling Sal Hepatica, presents A Date with Judy.
Hello?
Judy?
Why, hello.
Judy, I'd like to ask you for a date tonight. Of course, I don't have a motorcycle with a sidecar like Jojo Duran.
You don't?
I know I'm not as good looking as Jojo Duran.
You aren't?
And I don't have as much money as Jojo Duran.
You don't?
But could I have a date anyhow?
Why, certainly. But can I ask you one question?
Sure.
How can I get in touch with this Jojo Duran?
That's Judy, folks. Judy Foster, the cutest date in town. Well, let's see what's doing. It's 2 a.m. in the Foster house. The clock is ticking, and a water tap in the basement is dripping. But except for those things, everywhere there is silence. All the Fosters are asleep. That is, all but most of them. Certainly, Mother is awake. She's talking to Father.
Melvin. Wake up, Melvin. I want to ask you something.
What do you want, Laura?
Have you heard Judy come in, dear?
Judy? No, why?
Do you know it's 2 a.m.? I'm worried.
Worried? Why?
Because it's 2 a.m., Melvin, and I don't think she's home yet.
Not home? Who? Oh, where is she?
I don't know. That's why I'm worried. Do you remember who she went out with tonight?
No, some boy, I guess.
Of course, some boy. Do you remember who called for her?
No, don't remember seeing her go out.
I saw her go, but I can't remember which boy it was. She goes out with so many. Melvin, I'm going to get up and go downstairs and see if I can see some sign of her.
All right, I'll go with you.
Hand me my robe, dear.
Yes, here.
Thanks.
Did you say it was 2 a.m.?
Yes, I'm worried sick. She hardly ever stays out this late. Well, come on, dear, if you're coming.
I'm right with you. Just wait till she comes in. I'm going to give her a talking to. I haven't slept a wink.
Melvin.
Well, I haven't. Just been lying there worrying.
Oh, Melvin.
Well, I have.
Mother, Father, what are you doing up?
Randolph, go back to bed, dear. We're just kind of worried. Judy isn't in yet.
Well, I bet she's out in the front porch pitching woo.
If she is, I swear I'll spank her. Even if she is 16.
Well, we'll go see. You go back to bed, Randolph.
And Miss, what is likely to turn out to be a very interesting sight? Nope, I'm coming right with you.
It's all dark down here.
Hey, well, let's not turn on any lights. Let's just suddenly appear on the front porch and yell surprise.
I'll surprise her, all right. And as for whatever young puppy she's pitching woo with, I'll kick him out of this house so fast he'll never come back.
Now, Melvin, control yourself.
Control myself.
Well, the porch is all dark. I'll make you bet they're sitting in the swing, mushing and slushing.
Oh, Randolph, that sounds horrid.
Never even close my eyes.
Surprise! Oh, gee, they're not here.
Oh, now I am worried. She's not even home yet. Oh, Melvin, do you suppose something's happened to her?
No, and come on back in the house. Just wait till I tell that young puppy what I think of him.
I wouldn't even care if she were mushing and slushing. At least she'd be home.
To think, night after night, she's out there in that swing, tossing the gook around. And just tonight, when we could get some fun out of it, she isn't there.
Now, Randolph, stop exaggerating. I'm sure Judy doesn't kiss anybody.
Well, not anybody. There was a gazook last January she refused to.
Randolph. Oh, wait a minute. I think I see a light in the kitchen.
In the kitchen?
First time she ever necked in the kitchen.
Randolph, stop that. Come on, Melvin.
Just wait till I lay my hands on that lady killer. Just wait.
Now, Melvin, if you're coming in the kitchen with me, control yourself.
No.
Judy.
Oh, hello, Mother. What are you doing up at this hour?
What are we doing up at this hour?
I just want to tell you a thing or two. Keeping this whole house up all night.
Oh, hello, Father and Randolph.
Don't you hello me, Father. I'm going to spank you old as you are. And as for you, young man, I'm going to... Oh, hello, Leon.
Oh, hello, Mr. Foster.
How are you? It's great to see you.
Oh, I'm just fine, Mr. Foster.
Have you met my wife, Leon? This is Leon Novogroski, Dora.
How do you do?
Hi. Rather good pie you've got here, Mrs. Foster.
And this is my son, Randolph.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Hey, do you have to eat all that pie?
Oh, Leon's got a tremendous appetite, don't you, Leon?
Yeah. Those were good meatballs, too, Mrs. Foster.
Just think. Leon ate all the meatballs that were left over from dinner, Mother. Now he won't have to have them again tomorrow.
Well, isn't that nice?
We won't have any pie left over for tomorrow either. I was very fond of that pie.
Dora, didn't you say you baked 2 pies today?
Why, yes, Melvin, I did.
Fine. Leon's finished all of this one. Have another pie, Leon.
Okay, believe I will.
But that pie was for tomorrow, Melvin. I was
That's all
saving it.
right. We can have something else. Go right ahead, Leon. Well, I think we'll be getting back to bed and leave you 2 kids alone. Come on, Dora, Randolph.
But, Melvin, you
Good
said
night,
that if-
Leon, Judy.
I'll be upstairs in just a few minutes, Father.
That's all right. Take your time. See that Leon has enough to eat. Good night.
Good night, Father.
Melvin, I thought you were going to scold that boy.
Scold him? Why, do you know who he is?
What's the difference who he is? He's
What's
in there
the
eating...
difference? Why, he's the star pitcher on my factory's baseball team, that's all. Just the best pitcher we ever had.
And the best eater.
Why, with him, we can lick every other factory team in town.
Is that why he can keep Judy up as late as he pleases?
Well, we've got to be nice to him. He's the office boy, you know. Young, healthy. On account of the war, he's the only man on the team under 40.
That must be some team.
All the other factory teams have old men, too. Yes, with Leon, we stand a good chance to win the pennant this year.
If we can provide enough pies.
Well, come on, let's go to bed. I want to get back to sleep.
Oh, now it's back to sleep. Before, you hadn't slept a wink.
Don't be silly. I slept like a top.
Oh, my goodness, men. I'll never be able to understand them.
Good night, Randolph. Sleep well, son.
I don't know how anybody expects me to sleep when the last pie in this house is being devoured right at this very minute.
Good morning, Judy.
Good morning, Mother.
Well, I don't know what you're so dismal about. After the rip-roaring time you've been having every night for the last 2 weeks with that Leon Novogrodsky.
Oh, it wasn't rip-roaring at all, Mother. It was heart-rending.
Heartrending?
It's Leon. He loves another.
Another what?
Another girl, Mother. I'm so in love with him, and he loves that nasty old Ruth Whiteman.
Then why does he come over here every night? Unless it's for the food.
He only dates me when he can't get a date with Ruth. Then he spends the whole evening telling me about her.
How dull.
It is not dull. Anything he says is perfectly wonderful, even if it is all about Ruth.
Well, I wouldn't like to listen to him talk about Ruth all evening, especially with his mouth full.
Oh, Mother, you're so absolutely unsympathetic. Jeepers, some mothers, if their daughters were in a situation like this, would make some helpful suggestions.
Would they, dear?
I bet Ruth Whiteman's mother helps her snitch away men from other girls.
Well, maybe Ruth Whiteman's mother's had more experience snitching men away from other girls than I've had.
Oh, the trouble with you is you've always lived such a sheltered, protected life that you're utterly guileless. You're so naive, Mother. I don't think you've lived at all.
That's funny. I've always thought of myself as having lived.
Never mind, Mother. If I want help, I'm sure there's some stranger who'll be glad to give it to me.
Somebody who's lived.
Yes. Well, what are we going to have for breakfast?
Oh, that's simple. Whatever Leon didn't eat last night.
Well, I wouldn't attempt to offer any help to Judy with her specific love problem, but I don't mind passing along this bit of general information to the lovelorn. Namely,
a high date rating goes to the girl with a radiant smile.
yes, ladies and gentlemen, there's real magic in a radiant smile, but it doesn't take magic to make one. Just plain common sense. First,
Visit your dentist regularly.
second,
Take advantage in between times of the daily help which iPana toothpaste and massage can give your gums and teeth.
for healthy gums are mighty important to sound teeth and sparkling smiles. And iPana toothpaste not only cleans teeth thoroughly, but when used with massage, it increases gum circulation, helps stimulate gums to a heartier, healthier firmness. So why not, for your own smile's sake, follow this healthful dental routine?
Brush your teeth regularly with iPana toothpaste. And every time you do, put a little extra iPana on your brush or fingertip and massage it on your gums.
You'll help yourself to brighter teeth, firmer gums, and a more sparkling, winning smile every time you massage with iPana toothpaste. And now, back to A Date with Judy. Well, it looks like Judy has fallen in love with Leon Novogrodsky, the 17-year-old star pitcher on the baseball team at her father's factory, and incidentally, the biggest eater in town. As our scene opens, Judy is at the typewriter.
Randolph, come here. I want to read you something.
Go ahead. I'm all ears. Like that guy from Ashtabula you had a date with last month.
This is the letter I'm writing to Bettina Fairfeather.
Who is Bettina Fairfeather?
Why, the lady who runs the Advice to the Lovelorn column in the Daily Chronicle. My goodness, you certainly ought to know that.
Why should I? I haven't been particularly lovelorn lately.
Listen. Dear Bettina Fairfeather, I am a young girl of 16. I am charming, attractive, intelligent, and very popular.
Who wrote this letter? Hedy Lamarr?
Don't be silly. I wrote it.
So far, I don't recognize you from the description.
Keep quiet and listen, Randolph. My problem is, Miss Fairfeather, that I am ecstatically in love with a young man of 17 who is the star pitcher on a baseball team and who loves another.
Another what?
Another girl. My goodness, Randolph, you sound just like Mother. Therefore, Miss Fairfeather, I would like to know, what should I do?
Well, I'm not any Bettina Fairfeather, but I could tell you. Take a nice cold shower.
Randolph.
How have you signed this literary gem?
Blue eyes.
Blue eyes, huh? Aren't you afraid the readers of Miss Fairfeather's column might figure out that the author is none other than Judy Foster? After all, you do have blue eyes, you know.
You're right. I better sign it brown eyes.
That'll throw him off the track.
Another thing. Maybe on account of this is such a personal letter, I better ask Miss Fairfeather not to publish it in her column, just to write to me personally via the U.S. mails.
Write you via the U.S. mails. Yes, that'd be nice for a change.
Now, I'll just put this in the envelope and you can mail it, Randolph.
Oh, you're so good to me.
Here. Well, thank goodness that's off my mind.
Yep, you're just practically engaged to be married now.
Hiya, Randolph.
Oh, hiya, Curly.
What you doing, Randolph?
Mailing a letter. I am very unhappy about it, too. My sister Judy is seeking advice for the lovelorn. If you ask me in this case, I'd rather see her lovelorn than any other condition.
Well, why?
Because the guy is Leon Novogroski, and can he eat?
Yeah, Leon Novogroski, huh? He goes out with my sister Ruth, too.
Oh, he does? Funny, you don't look hungry.
Well, I'm not.
I can't understand it. I'm starved. Why, jeepers, you ought to see our icebox these days. Stark naked.
Yeah?
How's your icebox?
Oh, we never have anything left in our icebox anyhow after dinner. We eat everything we got and start all over from scratch the next morning.
Well, and all I can say is Leon Novogroski is the perfect guy for your sister Ruth.
My sister Ruth, I don't care who she goes out with.
Well, my sister Judy, I don't care who she goes with, as long as it isn't a big eater like Leon Novogroski.
Maybe it's on account of him being on the ball team he eats so much.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, it gives him an appetite.
You know, Curly, I got me an idea. A major brainstorm, I might say. You see this letter?
Yeah?
Well, my sister Judy is writing to Bettina Fairfeather to ask, I'm in love with a gazook. What should I do? Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to answer it.
Well, you ain't Bettina Fairfeather.
No, but I could be. I could write her a personal answer via the U.S. mails.
Hey, my cousin Sylvester, he works on the Daily Chronicle. He could snitch some Chronicle stationery for you, and your sister Judy would think the letter came straight from Bettina Fairfeather at the Chronicle.
Curly, let's go visit your cousin Sylvester at once.
Sure. What are you going to advise your sister Judy to do?
Well, you know where she asks, I'm in love with this gazook, what should I do?
Yeah?
Well, I'm going to answer straight from the shoulder. Get him to resign from the ball team.
You think that'll help your sister Judy's love life?
No, but it'll help her brother Randolph's food life.
Mother, was there any mail for me today?
Yes, there was, Judy, over there on the table.
I see. Oh, it's from Bettina Fairfeather. Oh, I can hardly wait till I get it open.
What on earth is Bettina Fairfeather writing you for?
Shh, Mother, I'm trying to read it.
She couldn't be asking you for advice.
Listen to this. She says, Dear Brown Eyes.
Brown eyes.
That's I. I wrote to her asking her how to get Leon Novogroski wacky about me, and she says, Dear Brown Eyes, Get him to resign from the baseball team. Sincerely yours, Bettina Fairfeather.
Get him to resign from the... Well, that's some advice. That'll get him wacky about you, all right.
Well, I guess she just didn't have time to explain how it'd work. But she certainly ought to know. It's probably very subtle advice.
Oh, it's subtle, all right. That's all it takes to be a lovelorn editor. I think I'll apply for the job myself.
Oh, Mother, what do you know about love?
More than Bettina Fairfeather, I can tell you that right now.
Just because this isn't obvious advice doesn't mean it isn't probably very brainy and cryptic. Now, how can I get Leon Novogroski to resign from the baseball team?
Why don't you write Bettina Fairfeather and ask her?
Now, Leon, it'd be the most sensible thing to do.
But gosh, resigning from the team? The best pitcher Foster Canning Company Incorporated ever had? Well, gosh, everybody loves me on account of I'm an athlete. Ruth wouldn't even look at me if I wasn't an athlete anymore.
Why, of course she would. As a matter of fact, Ruth told me confidentially she'd like you a whole lot better if you weren't an athlete.
She did?
Mm-hmm. She said the only thing she had against you was that you were the athletic type. She prefers the intellectual type.
She does?
Absolutely, most girls do.
Honest? Gosh, I never knew that.
Yes, Leon, I think your only recourse is to resign.
Well, maybe you're right. Okay, Judy.
Oh, Leon, I think that'd be wonderful. Why, you absolutely seem more intellectual already.
Yeah?
Why, you seem almost preposterous.
Hello there, Mr. Whiteman.
Hello there, Foster. How's Mrs. Foster and Randolph and Judy?
Just great. How's Mrs. Whiteman and Curly and Ruth?
Just great. Say, I hear you've got quite a pitcher this year on your factory team.
I'll say I have. Greatest in the world. Why, that kid would be on the Giants if he rolled enough.
Oh, come on, Foster. He can't be that good.
No, he's terrific. That kid's so good, we're going to lick every other factory team in the district.
Oh, yeah? You want to make any bets?
If you're serious, you're darn right I do. Only it'd be like taking candy away from a baby.
Oh, don't worry about me. I'll bet you $25 you don't win the pennant.
Listen, you wouldn't have a chance, Whiteman.
I'll take my chances. Want to go in the cigar store and have them hold the money for us?
All right, Whiteman, this is a break for me, but I certainly feel sorry for you.
Oh, save your sympathy for the big game.
I'll save it, all right. Plenty of it. You don't know Leon Novogroski.
Well, Mr. Foster is feeling optimistic enough now. But when he learns how Judy has stacked the cards against him, he'll start feeling as miserable mentally as you feel physically when you wake up on the morning of an important business day feeling dull and logy due to the need of a laxative. And yet, in your case, the cards are stacked against you only so long as you leave them that way. For if you remember this important name,
Sal Hepatica.
and remember as soon as you get up to put 2 teaspoonfuls of Sal Hepatica in a glass of water and drink it, you won't have to go on feeling miserable all day. For this is true.
Then sparkling Sal Hepatica brings quick, gentle relief, usually within an hour.
Yes, you can rely on this famous mineral salt laxative to help you feel better faster. And you can rely on it in another way, too, to help sweeten an upset stomach by helping to reduce excess gastric acidity. So tonight or tomorrow, get a bottle of Sal Hepatica. Remembering this caution, use only as directed. And anytime you need a laxative, morning, noon, or night, see how much faster you feel better when you take gentle, speedy Sal Hepatica. Now, back to A Date with Judy. Well, Father's just made a big bet that his factory baseball team will win the district pennant due to the prowess of Leon Novogroski, the star pitcher. But what Father doesn't know is that Judy has just persuaded Leon to resign from the team. Well, right now, Judy's on the telephone fighting with Ruth Whiteman.
Is that so, Ruth Whiteman? Well, suppose I did get him to resign. Just shows he listens to me better than he listens to you.
I just adore your telephone conversations, Judy.
Keep still, Randolph. Listen, Ruth Whiteman, if you don't like him anymore, get rid of him. Tell him off. Don't see him anymore. And just see if I care.
Absolutely fascinating.
Listen, Ruth Whiteman, I am not sabotaging your love life. I am not even interested in your love life.
Hello? Anybody home?
Hello, Father.
Hello, Father. I'm on the telephone. Excuse me. I don't care if you only liked him because he had athletic muscles. He only liked you because you have athletic brains.
Phew, some conversation.
Yeah, isn't it scintillating?
Well, that's all I have to say. Goodbye. Hello, Father, dear.
Judy, who are you talking to so sweetly?
Ruth Whiteman.
I can't understand it. I'm such a good friend of Mr. Whiteman's. Your mother is such a good friend of Mrs. Whiteman's. Randolph is such a good friend of Curly Whiteman's. And you're always fighting with Ruth Whiteman.
She annoys me.
To put it mildly.
I'll get it. Hello? Oh, hello, Whiteman. Sorry already you made that bet? What? He resigned? Leon Novogroski? Oh, for the love of heavens.
Gee, what's it to Father?
Listen, Whiteman, did you put him up to that? Oh, your daughter told you. Listen, Whiteman, I bet you did it. Of all the low conniving tricks, just because you bet me $25 my team wouldn't win, you didn't need to stoop. I don't care what you say. Goodbye. Imagine that low-down son of a gun pulling a lousy trick like that.
Father,
And you, Judy, if I ever hear you say a polite word to that stupid Ruth Whiteman again, I'll be furious.
Furiouser than you are now, Father?
Don't talk back to me. I'm going out in the kitchen and eat a pie of all the things I've ever heard of.
Gee, I can't understand it. Father's such a good friend of Mr. Whiteman's, Mother's such a good friend of Mrs. Whiteman's, and I'm such a good friend of Curly's, and you're such a... Hey, Curly.
Yeah, Randolph?
Hey, listen, Curly. I was just thinking. I find it necessary to do another Bettina Fairfeather.
You're going to give Judy more love-loan advice?
Yep. I find it necessary to advise Judy to advise Leon Novogroski to go back on the team.
Yeah?
Yeah. Therefore, I find it necessary to pay another call on your cousin Sylvester of the Daily Chronicle.
You're not going to use my cousin Sylvester's stationery to lose my father's money.
But, Curly!
Nothing doing.
Oh, gee, I wonder if I could get Judy to go on the Goodwill Hour. Maybe I could be Mr. Anthony.
Mother.
Yes, Judy.
Mother, it looks like Bettina Fairfeather's advice didn't work out so well.
What a surprise.
Be quiet, Randall. So, I was just wondering, Mother, would you mind giving me some advice?
Me? Isn't that an awful come down from Bettina Fairfeather?
Mother, don't be giddy. I'm really in the most desperate predicament.
State your problem, Judy.
Well, on account of Bettina Fairfeather's advice, Ruth and Leon had a big fight and don't talk to each other anymore.
Well, that's fine, isn't it?
Well, no, because when Leon was gaga about Ruth, he used to come over here and tell me about her all the time. And now I hardly ever see him anymore.
Well, then it isn't fine, is it?
Oh, yes, it is, because now Leon's in love with me.
Oh, well, then that's fine, isn't it?
Well, no, because now that he's in love with me, I only see him about once a week. The rest of the time, he's over at Vivian Appleframe's telling her all about me.
What I want to know is, doesn't this guy like the girls he's in love with?
Yes, but he's funny. When he's in love, he thinks he has to take out the girl he's in love with. And he can only afford to take a girl out once a week. So that's why he's over at Vivian Appleframe's all the rest of the time, telling her about the girl he's in love with.
Poor Vivian Appleframe. I wonder how the food supply is over at her house.
Well, anyhow, this is a big relief to us.
But it isn't a big relief to me. It's awful.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Father.
Why, Melvin, what are you doing home this time of day?
Came home to change my clothes, going to the factory ball team practice. Though what I'm going for, I don't know. I could see the same thing at the municipal home for the aged any day in the week.
But, Father, your team's won all the games this year, hasn't it?
Yeah, all but the big game for the pennant. That's going to be some fun without Leon Novogroski. Watching my 9 old men bat around with some other factory's 9 old men.
Well, don't you think you'll win the pennant, dear?
Don't ask me such dumb questions like that. It isn't even losing the pennant I mind so much. It's losing 25 smacks to that conniving crook Ned Whiteman.
Well, so long, folks. I think I'll be running along.
Where are you going?
Over to Vivian Appleframe's.
To Vivian Appleframe's? But why?
Oh, we have a little business about love to discuss. Goodbye.
Love. And since when does he run around with girls Judy's age?
Look, Melvin, the team's coming out on the field.
That's not our team. It's the other team.
How do you know, Father? You're not even looking.
It's enough for me to come to this game. I don't have to look at it, too.
Oh, here comes Foster Canning Company Incorporated.
Are they walking or riding in wheelchairs?
Why, Melvin, I don't think they look bad at all. Why, they don't look a day over 50, any of them.
That's great. We just gave them monkey gland injections in the locker room.
Look! There's Leon!
Leon Novogroski?
Leon, where?
Down there.
Well, imagine that.
He's going to play. He's in uniform.
I wonder how that happened.
I don't know now, but it's the greatest thing that's ever happened.
They're starting. Leon's going to pitch.
Oh, boy, this is going to be some game. Oh, what a laugh I'm going to have on Ned Whiteman.
Is that so?
Oh, hello there, Whiteman.
What kind of low-down chiseling do you call this, Foster?
What do you mean calling me a chiseler?
You deliberately let me think Novogroski wasn't going to play, and now you produce him at the last minute.
I did not. You told me yourself he resigned from the team.
Yes, and you certainly played innocent. As if you didn't know.
Well, I didn't know.
The devil you didn't.
Don't you talk to me like that, Whiteman.
Why, you...
Now, boys.
Oh, you want to get tough, do you?
You're darn right I do.
Put up your dukes.
You're darn right I will.
Hold my coat, Dora. I'll
Now,
show this guy a
Melvin.
thing or two.
I dare you.
All right, I'll take your dare.
Now, boys, don't fight.
Just you touch me, Foster, and you'll get an uppercut straight to the jaw.
All right. I touched you.
Well, now, you just get closer to me. Get closer to me, and I'll beat the living daylights out of you.
All right. I'm closer to you.
Now, boys.
Why, if you were half a man, I'd let you have it.
All right, I'm half a man.
Yeah, you aren't even a quarter of a man. I have a good notion to ignore you.
Oh, boys, please.
Don't worry, Mother. They're not going to kill each other. They're just going to scare each other to death.
Gee, that was some game. Wasn't Leon wonderful?
Well, fair. Anyhow, Father won the bet with Mr. Whiteman.
I wonder how Leon happened to show up at the game at the last minute.
Well, if you really want to know, I had a little talk the other day with Vivian Appleframe.
Vivian Appleframe? What did she have to do with it?
Well, Vivian was in a desperate predicament. It seems she was in love with Leon, and he was in love with you. So I advised her to write to Dorothy Dalwicks.
Who's Dorothy Dalwicks?
Well, you ought to know that, Judy. She writes the Lovelorn column on the Daily Bugle.
What? How did that...
Well, it seems a guy I know has an uncle who works on the Daily Bugle. So I used the Daily Bugle stationery and answered Vivian's letter to Dorothy Dalwicks.
Yes, but...
And advised her to get Leon to return to the team.
Well, for goodness sakes. Randolph, you're a genius.
Yeah, I and Orson Welles.
Dad won his $25, and now that Leon's back in the ball team, Ruth Whiteman will like him again. And on account of that, I'll see more of him.
And that's what I'm afraid of. 6 nights a week. Say, Judy, you know that tricky padlock you use on your bicycle?
Yes?
Does Leon know the combination to it?
Why, certainly not.
Well, keep it a military secret, will you? We can use that lock on the icebox.
A Date with Judy is written by Eileen Leslie and stars Louise Erickson as Judy and Dix Davis as Randolph. Original music was composed and conducted by Felix Mills. We invite you to be with us again next week at this same time to keep your date with Judy, chaperoned by Bristol Myers, makers of Ipana for the smile of beauty and Sal Hepatica for the smile of health. Ipana, Sal Hepatica. Noah Webster says beforehand means in advance, before the time.
Bristol Myers says Touche is the beforehand lotion. You smooth Touche on your hands before your daily soap and water tasks to guard your hands against the hot, drying effects of hot, soapy water.
Women say Touche is a brand new idea in hand beauty and an important one. And during the warm weather, when we have our hands in and out of water more than ever, Touche is more important than ever.
So begin today to use Touche. Toushay.
This program came to you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
KFI, Los Angeles, by transcription.
Oh,